The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting groups. If you'd like to produce a show, call us at 260-421-1250.
Let me be your lighthouse so I can show you the way. Let me be your shining light, I'll keep you from drifting away. I'm the one that makes you try when...
Hello, this is Patty Hunter of Patty's Page. Today I am at Basche's Martial Arts Studio.
Yes, ma'am.
You bet. And to my left is our guest, Steve Basche, Sensei.
Yes, ma'am.
And to my right is my co-host, Don Dickmeyer.
Hello, Patty.
Hello, how are you?
Hey, Patty.
Hey. Aho. So,
Just did a Bruce Lee yell. She just went, what?
I do, hey. Yeah. Anyways, how many black belts are you?
How many black belts? I have mastered Taekwondo. That's my foundation art. I've taken various arts that I've learned throughout the years and combined it with my foundation art, kind of like what Bruce Lee did. When Bruce Lee started his training, it was under Wing Chun,
Wing Chun.
and he combined various arts to form his own style, which is called Jeet Kune Do. So what he did was...
Is that Korean?
No, his was more Chinese. This is,
Chinese?
I teach Korean martial arts. Yes, ma'am.
Who was your first Grandmaster?
My very first Grandmaster was Grandmaster Jung Soo Park. God bless his soul, he just passed away a few years ago.
Oh.
Great Korean Grandmaster.
And who's this Grandmaster John Pellegrin?
Grandmaster John Pellegrini, he's my Hapkido teacher. Hapkido is also Korean martial arts, which utilizes a lot of joints, a lot of throws, a lot of takedowns. Taekwondo is more kicking and punching. So I've learned
Both?
two different types of Korean martial arts.
Oh, so you're good at that. So you are a 5th degree black belt or more now?
Well, I should be more now. I haven't tested, and it's been a while, probably 13 years.
Really?
But it's not about what's on the paper, it's what you know, right?
What you know.
I understand that you're from Colorado, or at least you began your martial arts in Colorado.
Yeah, the first time I stepped in, I was, I think, 9 or 10, Fort Carson, Colorado. But it's always been in my blood. There were times that I even went to a school even before that, but I'm saying a serious, structured class setting. It was in Colorado. I actually my mom was training with me.
Uh-huh.
This is back in 79, 80.
How's Betty? How's she doing? How's your mom doing?
She's doing great.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's actually going to be stopping by here in a little bit.
Oh, I'd like to see her.
Mhm.
So you started in Colorado. What brought you to Fort Wayne?
My dad was in the military, so we traveled a lot. I actually started in North Carolina for a little bit at a small school, and it didn't last long. And then I started with a class and trained consistently in Colorado. And then we moved back to Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and I continued my training, and then down to South Florida, Fort Lauderdale.
So you've been on quite a few places in your life.
Yeah, I'm an Army brat.
You're
Military.
an Army brat?
Yes, my grandfather was in the military, my uncles, my dad, everyone.
Well, my dad was in the Royal Canadian Air Force, so I know what it's like to be regiment.
It's awesome.
So, you're helping the community with presenting martial arts, nursing homes and schools?
Yes, ma'am. I like to give. I feel it's important. You know, in today's society that we give, it's all about what you give, not what you get.
That's
you know,
true.
so many people want to take, and I feel it's important. The only way we can make this world a better place is to, you know, give love, give acceptance, give help, you know, the community, you know, all that's very, very important.
And you're always relaxed. I mean, you're always calm.
Sometimes.
Oh,
Sometimes
Really?
I can be intense.
you are intense. Anyways.
Well,
Yeah.
being intense is part of the training
Yeah,
to be intense when you need to be intense and being calm when you need to be calm.
yes, sir.
You teach positive lessons or what?
Yeah, I teach not just the physical training, but the character development aspect, the discipline, the self-control, the focus, the confidence, all the important areas that, you know, will give children a good foundation for their future. You know, that's why martial arts has been around since 500 years before the birth of Christ,
Oh.
because of the character development aspect. It's not just the physical training. When you train physically, you can't help but feel good all around. More sound body, more sound mind, more confidence.
That's good. You know, martial arts has been around since almost day one, I suppose. No, something like that. But you find humankind then and now the same.
From when I first started.
Yeah.
It just seemed like there was more substance to, you know, relationships in your family and your friendships. Everyone, you know, went outside and played frisbee. We communicated more at the dinner table. It just seems like now, in this technological world, it seems like people are more distant. You
Games, videos, and all
Yeah.
that. They don't go out and exercise or anything like
Exactly. Back when I was a kid, I was like shredded, you know, I was just really lean, and just looking
You are
back.
now.
Well, I'm just saying, even as a child, it just seems like they were more athletic back in, you know, the late 70s, when I was growing up, mid-70s.
What do you
You know,
think
because
of-
we were out playing frisbee all the time and baseball.
that. And you
more
have
active.
creativity and imagination and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
So you work with what age group?
I have a 4 to 6-year-old class. We have a 7 to 12, and then we have 13 and up. I actually train a guy, Mike Peden. He's 70.
Oh, 70.
He's our oldest student. So, yeah, we teach all ages. I've actually taught a lady 102 at one time. She was, believe it or not, part of the Rat Pack back in the day. Remember they used to call them, what are those
Oh, yeah, the
dancers?
chorus girls?
Yeah, she was one of those, and I actually have a picture that's in the back closet where I'm kneeling down next to her. She's in a wheelchair. She brings her leg straight back in front of my face. Her
Good.
flexibility from here all the way back. She still had her flexibility, but she was 102 years old. Her name was Gladys something. She, like I said, she hung out with Rat Pack back in the day. So, you know, even 102, she was doing it. She participated, so any age can do it.
Patty, do you know about the Rat Pack?
Oh, yeah. Got Dean
And
Martin.
for those out there, Frank Sinatra,
Dean Martin.
Sammy
Sammy
Davis
Davis
Jr.
Yeah. She hung out with
Peter
those guys?
Lawford, I think,
Peter
too.
Lawford, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, I'm getting old. I remember those.
We remember, but
I remember.
some of you younger people won't.
Little Tigers, what the hey? Tell me about what you do with the little ones. What age group?
Little Tiger, we take them from 3.5 up to 6.
Mm-hmm.
It's our smallest, youngest age group. And our main focus with them is we teach them how to control themselves. We teach self-control drills, focus. We teach them a few basic self-defense techniques. And then like the last part of class, we make it fun because we want to keep their attention. So we'll play like a little game, or Miss Mary would do a a cool little puppet show. We do puppet shows here now. And she'll use what's called like the karate bunny. And she'll teach a certain word for that week, like courtesy, modesty, respect, with the karate bunny in the show. So it helps to convey our message on their level. It makes it fun at the same time. So we try to, you know, go all out to help our kids to grow, not just physically, but mentally.
Well, how long do you normally work with the kids? Several months?
Yeah, we have a beginner class, which is a year. If they're little tigers, we do like 6 months at a time.
Yeah.
Then we do like a 1-year program, and then we do, if people are committed and they surpass the basic class, they'll go to the intermediate level, and they'll go in for 2 extra years and then 3 years. It's just a step-by-step process up to black belt, beginner, intermediate, advanced, expert, all the way up.
How long does it take to be a black belt if you work at it every day?
If they're consistent, about 3.5 years. So if you would have started back when I met you,
70.
we can make you a black belt by the time you're 73.
I'm worrying. Black belt club. What's that, dear?
That's the intermediate advanced class. That's the step up from basic level.
Basic level.
Yeah, it's a commitment to move onward and upward toward black belt. So it's a step-by-step process.
So basic kids and adults, they're taught at the same time?
Basic kids and adults, there's 2 separate classes. That way they get more individualized training.
Who's the
more
teacher
one-on-one.
besides you? Is it Mike?
Yeah, I teach a lot of the classes. Mary helps to assist also, Miss Mary over there, and Mike will help out periodically if we need him. So.
How long has he been working with you then?
Mike's been with me about 7 years now. Yeah.
That sounds like a good number, right?
Yeah, he's been with us a long time. Miss Mary over here was my first black belt. She's actually been with me she's known me about 10 years now.
You poor thing.
Yeah. What's that supposed to mean? You're not getting any more hugs.
I love you.
No more hugs.
I still love you.
You have to be careful, Patty.
We're teasing. We're always teasing each other.
I
I'm
think
sad. I'm sad now.
one of the interesting reasons for taking martial arts is the confidence that it gives you. And a lot of people think that if you're involved in martial arts that you become more violent, and that is not the case.
No, it's actually the opposite. The kids out there, I'm sorry, did I interrupt?
No.
Okay, kids or adults out there that go out and start trouble, it's the ones that are insecure. They feel like they have to prove something. When you're confident and secure with yourself, you don't feel you have to prove anything. And that gives you more of a more peaceful, but yet powerful demeanor. You know, like people can sense if you're weak or strong. You don't have to lift your hand or brag to prove that. People can pick up on it. You know.
Body language.
Yeah, controlled strength, confidence is more powerful than someone
Because
that's
if you
out
walk over like this,
Mhm.
they know you're insecure. But if you steady pace and chin, well, not that high. Who's,
there. That's all right.
okay. Master club or nearing black belt graduation or having black belt. So how often are you with them every day or once or twice a week? Or?
Yeah, I teach most of the Masters Club. I'd say about 99% of them, unless, you know, I have to, something with my family, something important with my daughter or something like that, then I'll have Mary cover, but 99% of the time I'm here teaching that class. That's more of an advanced expert. That's where they're starting to fade into black belt level. They're a few belts away. So I'll start teaching them more advanced expert techniques, kicks, punches, grappling, things like that.
Do you have competitions?
Yes, ma'am, we do. We
Is there one coming up soon or?
yes, we have a couple. Young man just sent us some flyers. Lions Karate. I'll give him a little plug there. Yeah, he has a ton of different tournaments here in the area, in the surrounding area throughout the year, so we're gonna go compete in some of his competitions, so.
Is it this year?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, there's, I think 4 coming up, 4 tournaments, and they're spread out about a month, 2 months apiece, so.
What's the age group of the kids or young people?
At his tournaments, I think it's like 7 to 12-year-olds, and then 13 and up, so.
I love kids.
Mhm.
I like it when they start to, learn everything, absorb everything,
Mhm.
and they do it. You're teaching them the right way. You're teaching them what is wrong, what is right, and to stay focused and be peaceful, not pick on other people like some bullies that I know when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Bullying, Patty, is a problem, particularly in our public schools.
Yes.
And martial arts, when it's taught appropriately, can help that insecure person, but also can help, on the other side, the bully. If you've got a bully, then they become less insecure.
Mhm.
Oh, when you teach the kids, when someone comes up, like a bully comes up and starts punching the little kid, and the kid knows how to protect himself, you don't tell him, oh, hit him first, or do what?
I tell them to, it's called defending without fighting. That means controlling the situation without raising your hand or your feet, because then you can get expelled or suspended. So what I tell them to do is just, if someone is very, very aggressive, like putting their hands on them, I'll teach them like a little deflection technique, like get away, leave me alone. I'll tell them to say this very loud so it attracts attention, the teacher's attention.
So you go like that, or
Plus,
the kids?
yeah, just like a real light, deflection to the hand if they feel threatened. It depends on the situation. Now, if a kid's pulling out, a pencil and trying to stab this kid, I tell them, do what you got to do, defend yourself. But if it's someone calling a name or pointing a finger, there's ways that you can control it, or step back and say, leave me alone. This attracts attention, shows the teacher, hey, this person's trying to avoid it. The body language with the hands up is saying, hey,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be good here, I'm not aggressive. So there's different ways that you can attract the teacher's attention and everyone around to see what's going on. Does that make sense? So if
Yes,
it does escalate and this kid has to defend himself, they're going to say, well, he tried to avoid it.
Yeah.
You understand? There's so many kids that get in trouble. A kid will jump them unexpectedly, and the kid will react autonomically, especially if he's a martial artist. And sometimes they get in trouble for that.
Wow.
When people don't see what happened and how it started. Does that
Yeah.
make sense? So I always tell them to create the space and try to avoid it first. And then if someone persists, if they're very, very aggressive, you have to defend yourself. You can't just let somebody
I could have used that when I was a
hurt
kid.
you, so.
I was a shy little thing, and I had a lot of bullies
Oh,
pressure me.
do you need a hug?
Yeah.
I hope you feel better.
Yeah. He's
Sorry,
gonna
Bob,
teach-
don't kick my butt.
He's going to teach me a lesson.
And my niece is dealing with
Teach me
this
a
right
lesson.
now in Maryland. My cousin had just posted on Facebook how she's getting bullied and she's terrified to go to school, or she's crying every night. So it's sad, It would be nice if we can just all get along and
Yeah.
respect and love one another.
Now they're kids, young people who leave high school or college, whatever. They're coming back with guns. That's there was a lot of hints that person wasn't all there.
Yeah, red flags.
Red flags, and no one did anything.
That actually happened by my teacher's son's martial arts school, the Parkland
Yeah.
incident. Yeah, that was my teacher's son.
Mhm.
He has a school like a block away from there where that happened. Some of his students were involved in
Oh my
that
God.
incident, so it was very emotional for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about, hold on, let me get to it. Confidence, controlling the situation. Let the tiger out. Okay, let's talk about life or death situations. What do you encourage your students to do?
The most important thing, if someone approaches you, you don't ever want to freeze up or cry. And the reason why, let's say someone grabs a little kid's hand in the mall. The little kid's terrified, he starts crying. Let's say a little kid has dark hair, okay, and the bad guy has dark hair. Is anyone going to save him? No, because they think he's upset because he didn't get a toy and that's his parent.
Yeah.
So instead I teach my kids to do what's called let the tiger out. Strike the hand, yell loud, kick hard down low, and run and say, help! This is what attracts attention. This is what intimidates the bad guy. It's the same thing for, let's say, a grown woman. I don't know if you remember about 10 years ago, this guy walks up, grabs this lady by the arm, walks away with her. It was at the Mike's, I think it was at the car wash or something right here in town. It was all over the news. The lady froze up, started walking with him. No one saved her. Why? Because they look like a couple. So instead, what I tell my ladies to do, you know, when you walk out to the parking lot, put some keys inside your hand and your knuckles. If somebody approaches you, just by saying, get away, you know, that's a weapon. You hit somebody in the eye or the nose with that, and it's very effective.
You gotta get over that.
And you yell loud and you let the tiger out. And the reason I say that, you ever pick up a cat and it starts to hiss and scratch?
Yeah, it turns on
You let it go, right? So even though you're a lot bigger and stronger than a cat, you let it go. Well, it's the same thing. As humans, we're 10 times, 20, 100 times stronger than a little house cat. So if you're yelling loud, you're punching and you're kicking, you got keys in your knuckles, that guy's gonna flee. You're gonna do some damage. Number one, he thinks you're crazy. Number two, you're attracting attention.
That's right.
Does that make sense?
That's
So that's very, very important. So most people that are out there attack and they want you to freeze up and get scared. But if you exude confidence and you're
right.
aggressive,
If you get mad enough.
yeah, they're gonna flee from you.
Fight or flight.
Yep.
It's particularly important in an urban area or, as you said, a mall, because you're out there and indefensible, actually. You know, one against one in a dark mall parking lot. So you've got to be loud and boisterous and in a way, and as threatening as you can be.
See, that's going against the grain of what women were raised to be. Submissive. You're going completely against what they were taught when they were young kids. They have to be trained, educated. That's where you come in.
Yeah. Just a simple scream and just, you know, scratching and punching.
I've seen very, very timid people in certain cultures. You know, they wouldn't survive unless the man allows them to learn how to defend themselves. So
You've got to assert yourself.
that's right.
You've got to assert yourself when you need to assert yourself, and you need to have the control to step back when you need to step back.
Bullies and aggressors prey on the weak.
Well,
Yes.
a lot of it's internal, believe it or not. It's much more deeper than what people know. How you think about yourself,
Yes.
your confidence from the inside shines on the outside, projects on the outside. So when you're training in martial arts and you feel more confident about yourself and more sure of yourself, you carry yourself a certain way, your attitude's different, and you deflect any type of negativity. It's when you're insecure and you're walking around with your shoulders slumped and you're looking side to side, that's attracting more negativity. Okay, and I'm not saying it won't happen if you're confident, I'm just saying it's easier to deflect that when you're more confident from the inside out and you're more sure of yourself and you carry yourself better.
You have a website, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What's the website?
It's Basche Martial Arts, Basche.com.
That's right. That's cool.
And we're also on Facebook.
You're on Facebook too. So if someone wants to, I'm not mentioning any prices here, but if someone wants to be in your class, they go to your website, do they phone you or do they write to
The
you?
easiest way is to call us at 226-1111. They can come in and try a free week of karate. If anyone's struggling with anything, bullies, confidence, whatever it may be, look us up. We'll gladly give you a free week of karate. Even if you only come in a week, there's something that you can learn and you can take with you, and that can help you forever. So.
Do you find more women coming in, or?
It used to be about 80-20, now it's 50-50, I think, because of the crime rate and everything that's going on. It just seems like everybody wants to feel more secure and feel like they can protect themselves. In the 90s, it was like 80-20 more kids. Now it's like 50-50 adults, and my adult class, I'd say is about 20% women now. So.
I like to take a class. Even if it's a week class or something like that, because
as long as John comes in, he takes class with you.
Anyways,
If he does a Claude Van Damme stretch and kick.
anyways, where was I? I would like to learn because I do have arthritis. And do you have work with people who are?
Oh yeah, I work with everyone.
Okay, because I would like to come in and learn from you, eh?
Sure.
Thank you, Don.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And thank you, John.
Thank you, Patty.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
This is Patty Hunter and Patty's Page. Thank you for joining us here at Basche Martial Arts.
Can you put him in a chokehold real quick before we go?
No, you can do it. So, see you next week. See you next week.
Godspeed, my love, until we meet again. You're always in my heart and every dream. Don't let this time apart give in to all our fears. God will keep us close from up above. So until we meet again, Godspeed, my love. God is with us always.